G'day folks, Ben from Snowy's today showing this Hardkorr U-Lite XL Lantern and Power Bank.
Hit it.
This neat unit offers 1500 lumens of light in 4 different light colours, has a built-in power bank and a magnetic base so you can mount it anywhere. Before we dive in, we've got loads more content like this on our channel, so make sure you like and subscribe below. Now let's jump into the product. So we're here in the studio at Snowy's HQ because we're going to turn the lights off later to show you how bright this is, but this is how Hardkorr's U-Lite XL looks when you buy it. It comes in a box like this, comes packaged like this, weighs about 570 grams in the pack. The lantern itself is about 420 grams. This measures about 14 centimeters by about 11 centimeters and about 5.5 centimeters. Got a nice soft finish to it. It's a semi-hard case. Having a look at what comes inside. Firstly, an instruction manual tells you everything you need to know about all the light functions in there and what all the buttons do, but I'm going to run through that with you today. A USB-C cord, or USB-A on one end, USB-C on the other. That'll make more sense shortly. And then you get the lantern itself. So there's the little cover there. We'll put that aside. So this, as I said, measures, weighs about 420 grams. The lantern itself here is about 10 centimeters square by about 5 centimeters in depth this way. The base adds about another 1.5 centimeters on the bottom here, and this actually pivots, so there's about 5 centimeters of height there as well to give you a bit of an idea on dimensions. Now this feels like a really solid little unit, really well made. It's a combination of materials. They say ABS plastic, glass reinforced nylon, some aluminium alloy in there, and there's a rubber finish to this blue section on the outside here. Now I don't know exactly what is what, but it feels really sturdily made. There's a bit of a heat sink in around the whole LED sort of setup here. And you can see if we just have a look at the back, it's all actually really well sort of screwed together. There are 1, 2, 3, 4 screws there attaching this back section, which feels like alloy to me, to this potentially glass reinforced nylon front here. So it does feel like a really strong little unit. Do a bit of a tour around. This is obviously the front, main light here. We've got the bug light at the bottom here, show you how all that works shortly. Heat sink around there to try and keep it cool, and that rubber panel around there, the outside there. Not much to see on the sides, just the pivoting points for this base here, which pivots all the way around both ways. So it does have this little clip on here so you can hang it. So if you wanted this to stick out the back, you can push the base right around this way and use that to hang it. If you put it around the other way, obviously you can't use it there. You can. This will stand on any sort of position. So if you want to angle it, its weight is so that it won't topple over. So you can position this however you like, and it's going to stand. It's also got a little tripod mount here, so there's a mini tripod here that will screw into a tripod. So if you wanted to mount it on a tripod and, I don't know, you need it slightly sturdier, up higher, standing on uneven ground or whatever, you can mount it on a tripod. So it gives you that option for mounting it. Furthermore, this base does have a magnet built in here too. So I've got a random chunk of metal. It's actually a podcast mic stand here to give you an idea of how strong the magnet is. So I put that on there and it stays on there. If you're in a moving vehicle or something, it's going to gradually move off, so it won't stay on a moving object, but tent frame, side of the vehicle, any metal sort of panel, it's going to sit there pretty comfortably, and you can then angle it whichever direction you like, whether it's up and down or sideways. So lots of mounting options. Moving on around the unit, if we come to the top here, it does have an IPX5 rating, which means it's going to be waterproof or it's going to be able to sit in the rain, basically, provided you've got this little panel in here. If we flick this open, you can see we've got a USB-A and a USB-C port in here. USB-C port is for charging the light itself, about 5.5 to 6 hours, depending on what you're charging it from, to go from empty to full. And then you've got the USB-A output here, so it's a 13,500 milliamp battery inside here that you can use to charge your mobile phone or small devices if you want. Otherwise, you can get up to 50 hours of runtime from the unit on different settings, which I will run through now based on the settings on the back here. Now there's 3 buttons on the back here. Firstly, the power button on the side here. So double click of this turns it on, and then each press scrolls through the different lumen settings there. We'll turn the lights off shortly and show you how that looks, because you'll be able to see the lights on the back here. Same with these 4 little lights across the top. Battery indicator, we'll see that better with the lights off. Button on the other side here scrolls through different color temperatures. So we'll show you once again with the lights off, but each press of that scrolls through a different color temperature from 2700K through to a colder 6500K. So warm at the top, or an orangey light at the top, very white, almost blue light at the bottom there. And then an orange light at the bottom, which is a mosquito light or an insect light. Now that gives out an orange light that isn't visible, it's on the spectrum that's not visible to most insects. So we'll show you that shortly as well. So let's turn the lights off and we'll scroll through these settings and show you how it looks in the dark. Power button, double click, turns it on, and that, I won't show it straight in the camera, but that turns the main LED in the middle there on. There's a big COB LED panel in there that turns all of those on, and that's our 120 lumen setting. We're going to get about 50 hours, not 150 hours of runtime on that. Second press on this. Now the battery, the user manual, it's got a little error in it, I think. It says the second press after 5 seconds will turn this off. That's not the case. I found you need to scroll through to the brightest setting before it turns off. So if I press it again, it goes to the next 300 lumens setting. We've got 21 hours of runtime, 8 hours of runtime off 750 lumens, and about 5.5 hours of runtime off the 1500 lumens setting there. And then the next press turns it off again. Double click, turn it back on. I'll scroll through to the brightest setting so that I can now show you the color change settings here. So that's a warmer 2700K, it's Kelvins, I think that is. I don't know the science behind it, but that's quite an orange light. And then you can scroll through to a slightly warmer light. You can see behind it now it's going to a bluer light or a whiter light, and then 6500K is quite a harsh white light there. Some people prefer that, or a cooler feeling light, I suppose, so it can give a different sort of ambience to your campsite. Now the other setting on the back here, if I turn that off, I talk about the button on the bottom here, which is a insect light button. So if I double click that, it turns on the little LED panel on the bottom there. Now that's an orange light that's in the spectrum that most insects can't see. So if you want to put a light on that insects aren't going to be attracted to, that's the one that you want. And it still gives enough light to see around the campsite. At 60 lumens a light, you get about 106 hours of runtime off this setting here. And if you're not doing anything specific in the campsite, that's still going to give enough light to find your way around to and from the tent to the toilet perhaps. And if you just want it to be on as a setting, maybe to find the lantern, if you just want to mark somewhere that you've left it, or you've got a camp in a remote spot and you just want a flashing light to be able to find your way back to, a second press on the insect button on the bottom here, then it gives it a strobe setting. So that will run for many, many hours on strobe setting there. There's one other cool feature that I want to show you, and that's a little phosphorescent ring that helps you find the light at night. So I'm just going to turn this on for a few more seconds to charge it up a little bit, turn it off, and if we have a look at the front, there's a little green phosphorescent light or ring. It's going to help you find the light at night, so that will glow for many, many hours. That is the Hardkorr U-Lite XL Lantern and Power Bank. Enough light, if you add 2 of these to your kit, you got enough light for an entire campsite, but definitely enough light for one much more compact than lanterns that we've known in the past. Gives you tons more functionality through how bright it is, the light color that you get out of it, and you can charge it from USB. It's a really nice, neat, little heavy-duty, well-made light for any camping, four-wheel drive, or caravan expedition. Check them out online at snowies.com.au.